I'm a father of 4 kids. I'm just so thrilled that the budget is catering to large families. So that made me very happy that the government is now taking quite a differentiated approach to increase our fertility rates. It's very empowering for businesses. There are significant corporate tax cuts, and there is this enterprise compute scheme to really push companies to think about enterprise AI. Now, I think most of the time when it comes to data, it's typically sort of on-premise servers. So it's a very CapEx model, right? Capital expense model. I think nudging companies towards more an OpEx model, where they can focus on scaling very quickly, but sort of lower initial cost to sort of use AI, looking from a sustainability perspective, the investment on nuclear energy. That I think it's very exciting, and that would be a key driver, I think, of our economy, create jobs, and prepare Singapore for the future. Potential limitations that I felt could have been addressed a little bit more in the budget. And that's the difference between macroeconomics and micro sentiments. So in the US, for example, the jobs report are so positive. The economy is growing well, but people don't feel that they're benefiting, right? So that's really a chasm between macroeconomic growth factors and micro sentiments. And they influence elections, right? They influence how people think, and they influence how people consume, how people spend. I think it's important to look out for some of these groups of people who may feel that they are left behind and see whether we can power them up. The balance that the government is trying to strike with this year's budget is, I think there are long-term issues that confront Singapore, such as an aging population. In a few years' time, we'll be super aged society just like South Korea and Japan, which means 1 in 5 Singaporeans will be 65 years and above. With an aging society, we know that productivity is going to decrease. But with these national productivity schemes that are going to be put in place, what it does is that it unleashes what we call the third demographic dividend. Now, the first demographic dividend is when you have a lot of young people, right? So economic growth happens very quickly, it's catalytic. Now, the second demographic dividend really is as people grow older, they start to save. So there are a lot of savings that a country can accrue. Somehow people do think that an aging population is sort of a country in decline. But I don't think so. If we are able to lift that productivity, what we're going to see is what we call the third demographic dividend, which means everyone, regardless of age, is going to be valued for how productive they are. They're going to play a role in society, not just for paid, but also unpaid work. A lot of studies have shown that if older adults are very actively engaged, it leads to better lives. It actually flattens the healthcare cost. So here, I think they're trying to lift the productivity sort of curve and set us for the future, buffering against an aging population and making sure our economy still grows on a productive trajectory. We are entering a very uncertain world with the recent Trump 2.0 in the US, and also with wars around the world that have yet to be resolved. But with this increasing risk around the world, there are also opportunities. The forecasts that have been talked about this year is between 1% to 3%. I feel that might be an underestimate. So I think what the COVID-19 pandemic has shown us is that there's now a very good trust dividend that's been built between society and the government. Now, this trust dividend increases confidence. What the budget tries to do this year is really to instill confidence in an uncertain world. Instill confidence to families, instill confidence to businesses, and instill confidence for the world to invest in Singapore. I think the slew of initiatives looks at really augmenting and empowering across the business value chain. Now, from an R&D perspective, it's $1 billion investment, right? This is against our RIE 2025-2030, where billions of dollars have been invested into research and development. So that's really the upstream portion. We are creating the scientific discoveries for application. If I were business today in Singapore, yes, I would be concerned about the risk that's currently happening, but I might also be very thrilled about the opportunities. I think this is a great time to expand overseas because increasingly there's decoupling when it comes to technologies, there are new alliances being made. Hopefully, the budget this year serves as a catalyst for businesses to expand overseas, to increase our leadership bench strength so that we can continue to lead across different industries.